available on Amazon right now. But my current release, which I'm really happy about, is Revenge of the Brokenhearted. I've been heavily promoting that. The first part came out in June, and then the finale, the second part, came out just in July. So this story is very, very drama-filled. Very drama. So if you're into the love / drama / suspense, it will literally, it's the definition of a page turner. And it's basically two sisters who have these two different relationships, and it's just filled with betrayal, a little bit of revenge. It is a lot of like secrets being uncovered. And then there's a little bit of just this like really sexy aspect to it that you can kind of get into too. So that's my current baby. And just to plug you guys, I do have paperbacks available now. So for anybody who is into reading but prefers to have the physical book, my whole goal now is to cater to both audiences, the ebook readers and the paperback readers.
Nice. What's up? It's your girl Hershey Kiss with another episode of Women Crushing Wednesday. Shout out to Put You On Notice. Today we're going to be meeting with three lovely queens, two returning guest hosts, Mrs. Kayelle Daniels as well as Mrs. Peaches. And we're going to be interviewing the lovely Kayelle Gee, who is a published author. She's going to put us on about what she's doing in her community and how she's crushing it. How you ladies doing today?
Hey y'all, we're doing good.
Hey, I'm doing all right, enjoying this weather.
So Miss Kayelle, you want to start off by just telling us about yourself, who is Miss Kayelle and how you're crushing it?
Absolutely. So again, my name is Kayelle Gee. People are always tripped up on the name. It's literally my initials, Kayelle Gee, and I just use that as my pen name. I have been a published author for, it'll be 2 years next month. So coming up on my 2-year anniversary. To give you a little insight, I write urban fiction. The way that I label myself and the way that I feel best fits me is urban romance. I love to do nice spins on dramatic, suspenseful, like love gone wrong with a little bit of redemption. It's really all based upon love blossoming out of chaos. So even in the midst of chaos, love can bloom. To get a little bit into my catalog, I am available on Amazon for anybody who has Kindle Unlimited. All my books are free through that app. For people who like to read ebooks, you literally can download the Kindle app for free, Android or iPhone. And then when you download a Kindle book, you're able to go into that app and literally page swipe a book and read it from your phone. So you don't actually need a Kindle to use Kindle Unlimited. And I could just go. So I was gonna say, if you want me to just go, I could.
I was like, So what inspires you when you're writing? Because I read some of your titles. I looked at some of your covers. What's your What's your inspiration when you're writing?
It definitely varies. My debut story is called I Choose You, and it's a 3-part series. And it's based upon this young married couple who are like happy in every other area but their sex life. So the wife is struggling heavily to stay committed to her really good husband because she just feels the void. And my inspiration from a lot of the stories comes from like little bits and pieces of conversations. So in this particular story, she meets someone who kind of occupies her time, but the affair goes really left. And then while she's dealing with her own love affair, her husband, who is a good man, has love interests that are like trying to grab at him. And she's too busy in her own mess to know that her husband is like out there dealing with temptation also. So it really just plays heavily on relationship dynamics. And that's all 3 parts are available on Amazon right now. But my current release, which I'm really happy about, is Revenge of the Brokenhearted. I've been heavily promoting that. The first part came out in June, and then the finale, the second part, came out just in July. So this story is very, very drama-filled. Very drama. So if you're into the love / drama / suspense, it will literally, it's the definition of a page turner. And it's basically two sisters who have these two different relationships, and it's just filled with betrayal, a little bit of revenge. It is a lot of like secrets being uncovered. And then there's a little bit of just this like really sexy aspect to it that you can kind of get into. So that's my current baby. And just to plug you guys, I do have paperbacks available now. So for anybody who is into reading but prefers to have the physical book, my whole goal now is to cater to both audiences, the ebook readers and the paperback readers.
Nice.
How do you come up with your material? Is it like real life, friends, nail shop gossip? How do you come up with that good stuff?
So I literally tie in everything.
They want the tea, girl.
Right.
Listen. I have never and will never develop any character off of one person. So in my latest book, I have a character named Rain, and she is literally a little piece of me, and like a little piece of my sister, and then she's a little bit of some of my friends. And then sometimes I'll watch a reality show and be like, yep, she has that type of thing going for her. So in order to make it authentic and original, you have to like pull from different pieces until you have one full character.
Gotcha.
So sometimes I am in a hair shop and I'll hear one story and I'm like, oh, that's a part of her history. Like that's why she has this attitude, because that happened to her. And I'll add it into the character, especially with male characters, because in the book world, there's this thing that trends called book bays. And it's basically like these male characters that are like super desirable. So while you're reading the book, you like fall in love essentially.
Right.
And in order to really create a good book bay, you have to take all these pieces of what makes a man dope. Like sometimes it's physical, but sometimes it's financial. Sometimes he's supportive and he's loving. It could be the way he touches her or talks to her. So I just take all these things that make me feel a way, and then I just plug them in. And when I get a reaction from women, I'm like, well, that works. I'll use that.
Right.
How long do it take you to write a book? Like when you in your zone, how long it take you to go?
If I'm locked in, like fully locked in, I could get through like a 40,000 word book written usually within a month.
Okay.
The reality is I'm never locked in for a full month.
Okay.
I do have a full-time job. I have 2 small kids. I'm on a board for a nonprofit, Glow 414. So I always got my hands in something. So realistically, I usually try to give myself more so 2 to 3 months to fully complete the novel, do an edit, and then get it sent to my publisher.
You ever be driving down the street and be like, oh, I gotta use that for my book? You write it down, or do you
I got a notepad in my phone literally labeled book notes.
Okay.
So anything that comes up, anything that pops up, I'm like, I'll literally be in my destination. If I need to pull over, I'll pull over.
Right.
Okay. That's dope. So do you only do nonfiction? Have you ever done anything that's do you only do fiction? Do you do anything that's nonfiction as well?
So as far as what I've published, I've only done fiction. That's where my passion lies right now. So I'm just trying to really pour into it heavily. But my writing history really came from poetry. So at some point I do want to release a book of poetry, and I do plan to release under a different pen name, some more like self-help, psychological pieces. So that is all a part of my plan.
Okay, dope. Also in regards to like relationships and dating, because I'm not sure what your status is, do men feel intimidated by some of the characters in the book? Like, I cannot equal him, or he, you know what I mean? Like, they trying to
listen. It gets complicated. So I was actually in a relationship up until recently. So when I would write characters, some of my characters would, like my male characters, it would be pieces of my partner. But it wasn't always the good pieces though, because if I was trying to write a character who had, you know, he wasn't that great of a guy and wasn't supposed to be desirable, then I'm taking that one argument that I had that pissed me off, that made me look at you differently, and I'm creating a whole man based on that one moment we had. So that does get frustrating because they see themselves the way I see them in that moment, and like you can't really stop how someone feels about your perspective.
Right.
Right.
I got a question. Because I had the privilege of reading Revenge of the Broken Hearted, and that's actually one of my favorite books now. I want to know a little bit about Zay. I want you to tell us a little bit about Zay, because I need a Zay. I'm just saying, I need some Zay in my life.
I gotta go read what Zay
about.
Yes.
Man, I need a Zay. Every girl need a Zay. I'm just trying to tell y'all.
So Zay was, his original inspiration did kind of derive from my ex. It was, I took this part of him that I just thought was amazing and dope, and I expanded it. So like it started with this action of like somebody who like sees that you are broken, sees that you're weak, but knows that you have this strength, and they ignore all the downside and they just want to see you win. That was how Zay's character really formulated, because I'm like, we all really just want somebody who sees what we need without us saying like, hey, I really could use help with this. Right. And they just making it happen. And Zay's character was that. He wanted this girl who was not really available to him. But even though he couldn't be to her who he wanted to be, he saw space. So in any way that he could be a part of her life, whether it was something supportive emotionally, whether it was, you know, financially, he just came through. He wanted to love on her in the way that he could. And I think most women, especially Black women, we miss that. We don't get, you know, we have to be in a relationship to get loved on. And even then, it's like when they feel like it sometimes. Mm-hmm. So to just have somebody who you're giving nothing to because you're telling them you have nothing to give, and they still see your worth. They still want to like love you. So Zay was that. He was like that. This is when you get married. When you find somebody who sees you good and bad and still can find all the beauty in you, is patient with you, wants to pour into your dreams, like that's a bae. Like that's
I got a brother. Where he at?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'll be inboxing her like, who is this?
Look, Daddy gonna have a lot of people in some arguments like, you ain't doing this. Like, I'm just trying to tell you.
When you were naming like some of the description of your books and titles, they remind me of Lifetime movies. Have you ever thought about making some of these books into movies?
So, since we're on that topic, I currently have a long-term, not super long-term, but a long-term goal. I have a production studio that I'd like to have. So the process that I have is to write these books, get them developed in a way that kind of the story speaks to me more clearly. And then I want to get into screenwriting really heavily and turn some of my books that people are connected to into films. It might start off more so like with web series because it's just easier to manage. But I definitely have long-term goals to be like the female Tyler Perry. But I want a writing team, and I want to be able to really put people in position to tell their stories. So I'm definitely, every time I write a book and I finish it, because I see them, like they're movies to me. So when I'm writing, I'm trying to like slow the scene down so I can like get the detail. So it's really exciting to know that like, to me, it's already a movie. I had to turn my movie in my head into a book. So to go back to turn it into a movie, that's going to be the light part.
Yeah. Right. And then are your characters like reoccurring throughout the series? They kind of continue the story, or do you show like different aspects of each character?
So with my I Choose You series, that's the 3-part. So the way that I write, I know some people who have like 2 main characters in their stories and they're able to like kind of take off. I really enjoy having like minor characters that have like a storyline, because in my real life,
Did it freeze for y'all?
Characters that kind of show up throughout the stories. Chill. So I do put other characters and string them along, and even some of the concepts kind of spin off. Mikkel will tell you there's this one character that she does not like in Revenge of the Brokenhearted. A lot of people don't like her, but she will have a spin-off. Will have a spin-off. So, because what happens is she was a minor character, so you only got to see the little things she did to the characters that you like favored. But she has a backstory, so I feel like people need to know that like she's how she is for a reason.
And I think I'm a reader, and I like that now since you're on Amazon, you can go off of, you know, people what they say, like, yeah, next, you know, first, back in the day, books, you just have to go off of whatever. But looking at these Amazon reviews, baby, I feel like I gotta read all of it. I don't know which one to start with, because everybody like, now they like 5 stars. When the next book coming out? When's this? What's that? So I'm like, where do I start? So I gotta dig into this. But Amazon, yeah, they loving you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Whenever, hold on, babe, hold on, sit down. Whenever someone wants to read my work and they're like, what do you recommend? So I have other books outside of my 2 series, but those are the 2 that are completed. They're written the way that I want them written. The other 2 I'm gonna take down and re-edit and have them put back up. If you want something that's like sexy, that's like full of lust, if you can handle that like passion, I Choose You is like, that series will take you there. Like when I was writing it, I had moments where I was like, ooh, I gotta really think this through.
This is the one I'm on right now for Amazon, is what I'm reading the reviews on, is I Choose You, and that's when everybody like, yes.
Yeah, it's an emotional journey, but it is very much so like, it's hot and heavy. So that one I'm always like, that's my baby. That was my first like real experience with like writing to publish. So but if you want something that's kind of like a little more romantic, but drama, Revenge of the Brokenhearted, that's that.
Yeah, because I gotta read up on Zay, baby. I gotta see about him.
He's daddy right there. I'm just trying to tell you.
But
we might have to
there are
start a
other
book
book
club
bays.
on Women
Nobody
Crushing
wants to
Wednesday.
talk about Rome in Revenge of the Brokenhearted. He is a bae also, so don't sleep on Rome. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
Okay, now can you watch out, please? Thank you, ma'am.
I was just gonna ask you like how you manage being a mom, having a full-time job, being an author. Like, do you set a time, like a long time for yourself to be able to be in a creative space, just write?
It's for me, it's a scheduling thing. I schedule everything in. I used to be able to kind of like freestyle it and wing it, but I have a calendar, so I try to write every single day. I set a word count goal every day. On busy days where like I can't have an actual break, I just do something that we call sprint writing, and I'll just leave my laptop up, and anytime I get a moment, like if she takes a nap, I'll just work until I have to do something else. And you could be doing 30-minute sprints all day long, but that'll end up being my 2,000 words for the day.
So you try to set your goal every day to write something. So you said 2,000. So you try to do at least a day?
Yeah, so I try to do daily. It's 1,500 to 2,000 words a day. That's my goal. I try to do 10,000 words per week as my like extended goal. That allows me to, in a month, if I'm consistent, get a story complete.
Gotcha.
Sit, girl.
I think that's long because I do journal writing, and by the time I write like 100 words, I'm like, oh, damn it. So like,
yeah, it's work. It is work.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your books, your story, your journey, and everything with us. I appreciate the time. Do you have any upcoming events that you want to share with the Put You On Notice audience?
I do want to let you guys know I do have, like I said, Revenge of the Brokenhearted paperbacks are available. I'm on Instagram, Kayelle.Gee. I'm also on Facebook, author Kayelle Gee. I will be releasing at least 2 more stories before the year is over. So if anybody is interested, follow me on IG, find me on Facebook, and then look me up on Amazon.
I'm definitely gonna be checking you out. Like I was saying earlier, I think we need to start a book club for Women Crushing Wednesdays so we can come back and discuss book collectively. Because now you got me interested in these characters.
Ooh, good. I do have a readers group on Facebook that I'm thinking about turning into a virtual book club.
Nice. Well, definitely keep us posted because I'm there, especially during quarantine. I think it's a good time to get connected and engaged, whether it's fantasy fiction or nonfiction or whatever. But I definitely think like that's a good activity to get involved in at this time. But thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Thank all you queens for joining me. Until next time on Women Crushing Wednesday.
Peace. Bye, y'all.
Bye.